Welcome, everyone, to the end of the beginning. Today's show, I'm going to be talking about everybody's favorite everybody's favorite philanthropist, Billy Gates. That's right, Billy is at it yet again. And if it's sucky and it blows, you know you'll find Bill promoting it and trying to inflict it like an STD onto society. So what is Bill promoting now? Well, there's so many things, it's hard to keep up. I mean, we all know that Bill has been promoting us eating bugs and not eating meat. And of course, promoting that we need to do this for the climate while he flies around on private jets and then tells us that, well, it's important for him to fly on private jets because he's trying to get the message out as opposed to us who are peasants and really should have no rights and should have snails and all sorts of insects like cockroaches put into our mouths. So we have that. Of course, we saw Billy with the outbreak and even years leading up to the outbreak telling us the importance of the outbreak and, of course, getting magic potions into our bodies because Bill's all about that. What else do we have with Bill? Oh, yeah, right. Just recently, we saw our own government telling us that we need to block the sun, and, of course, that all links back to Bill as well. So should we be surprised that Billy with electric cars is also now pushing the driverless vehicles onto society? And of course, conveniently, I'm sure Bill will have my vehicle linked up to his Bluetooth directly so he could use a remote control to drive me off a cliff. But unfortunately, that probably won't happen because I wouldn't be caught dead inside of one of these gay mobiles. I mean, mobiles, cars, what? So Bill is out there and he posted it on his own YouTube channel that nobody watches. It's embarrassing when you see that this guy even has subscribers, but it shows you the tone-deaf society we live in. But Bill's letting us know, and Bill's trying to be hip and cool in his always cringy way. He's in an autonomous vehicle as they're beginning to promote more and more the driverless vehicles again so they can have full control over all of our lives. Are you ready to see Bill? Let us know that this is closer than you could possibly imagine. Are you ready for Bill to let you know, quote, it's coming sooner than later? Yep. Here's Bill, and sorry, there's no happy ending here where Bill's car ends up going to the Grand Canyon.
I was recently asked to take a drive around London in a car without a driver, or rather, no human driver. It was a car operated by Waves, a startup that's developing a new approach to autonomous driving.
Front seat's all yours.
All right.
Can I introduce Tipa? Tipa's going to be our safety operator today and monitor the system.
Supposedly the easiest job in the world.
Great, Bill. Where would you like to go?
Let's go get some fish and chips. Other self-driving technologies work only on specific map streets. Waves technology operates more like a human driver would, learning how to drive in one city and then applying that knowledge to drive in new places. London is a very challenging place to drive, with lots of traffic, pedestrians, and cyclists. We put Wave's self-driving technology to the test.
The algorithm is now controlling the speed, the steering, the indication, the braking, everything about cars driving. We're making decisions based on what we see, so it's not being told how to drive with a set of rules and a map, but it's interpreting its environment, understanding the context, and making the safest decisions to drive through here. And the beauty of that is that it can learn things that are more complex than you can hand engineer. If you have to tell the car how to behave in each and every situation it will exist, you're never going to cover them all.
I mean, this is the real world right here.
100%. I mean, look at the cyclist on the left.
Yeah.
See how we're slowing down behind it? We'll probably, when it opens up, overtake the cyclist, but we're choosing not to now. Okay, look, we do now.
Yeah, it gives him as much clearance as possible. That's great. All right, is this guy going backwards, forwards? Ooh. I'll give you credit for picking one of the most difficult situations I've seen in an autonomous car ever.
I mean, this is the most unstructured, wild, and complex environment.
Yeah, no, the humans are having a hard time. You can tell they're trying to make judgment calls.
I think this is the next big wave of technology, whether that's improving the enjoyment of vulnerable road users, whether that's decreasing the amount of traffic, improving safety, allowing more public transport, more shared mobility, more reliable mobility. I mean, the way we move around cities hasn't changed in 100 years. Well, I hope you enjoyed riding the wave through London.
That was fantastic.
So there's Bill again promoting just another one of these huge agendas, these huge things that seems to be inflicted onto our society by these rich quote unquote philanthropists, but they're really just rich psychopaths. And Bill is saying that driverless cars are so great that we don't need steering wheels anymore. And again, we've seen the dangers of it, of course. Have you seen the dangers of the driverless vehicles? Has anybody seen some of this stuff?
Would you trust a self-driving car to ever do this? Passing an 18-wheeler in icy conditions while you're playing patty cake. Or how about these guys? As their Tesla cruises along, they're playing games like Jenga. Too exhausted to drive? How about a little shut-eye? And check out this road trip, playing cards, arm wrestling, reading books. We found several videos on social media showing motorists putting enormous faith in the Tesla's self-driving technology. The videos come in the wake of the first death of a Tesla driver while on autopilot.
That's very foolish.
Bob Sorokonich is news editor for Road and Track magazine.
You do need to have your hands at the ready and your feet at the ready, because you don't know when the technology is going to say, I can't figure out what's going on. You need to drive now.
Just chilling with my invisible chauffeur.
In this video, the Tesla owner is in the passenger seat. There's not even a warm body behind the wheel.
By myself. It's going about 70 miles per hour.
Nico Rosales is the guy in that video. It does seem wildly dangerous, 70 miles an hour, and there's nobody behind the wheel.
Yeah, it's a little dangerous, but I have a lot of faith in their autopilot system. Despite it being in the beta stage, it was pretty safe and secure.
This Tesla's owner says he had a close call when he says his Tesla suddenly veered into the path of an oncoming car. Whoa. The Tesla driver was so upset he posted video of the incident under the headline, "Tesla Autopilot tried to kill me." Had I not reacted quickly to jerk the steering wheel in the opposite direction, I might have clipped it.
Whoa. Yeah, that looks like a lot of fun, right? I can't wait to be on the road with two dorks playing Jenga with one another. Shortly after, of course, they pack each other's fudge, but that's another story for another day. And of course, Bill loves to promote the electric vehicle, just like all these elites do. They have that in common. Of course, the hero of society, apparently Elon Musk, also, the face of the electric vehicle. It's not about control or anything like that, ladies and gentlemen. It's about safety. It's about safety, right? Because safety comes first. Oh, here's a montage of the electric vehicle in action. So don't worry about lithium batteries. Like when you get a box from Amazon or anywhere that has a lithium battery, there's a huge warning on the side, right? Like when you go to the airport, they won't let you check, lithium battery is a concern because it's dangerous, right? But you should sit in it for the majority of the day when you're awake, when you're driving from here to there, to the gym, home, to work, to the grocery store. You should be in one of these. And don't worry, it's not a big deal because you're not in your car that much. It's only parked in your garage where, it could catch fire in the night. But don't worry about it. You could even be charging at a gas station and it implodes on you because it catches fire. But we shouldn't worry about the dangers of these things because, well, the media will never cover the dangers of them, so why should we worry about it? We only worry about what the media tells us, right? So tech billionaire and Microsoft co-founder, he recently took a test ride in an autonomous vehicle through the busy streets of downtown London, as you saw. Of course, they try to promote it as being like cool and hip, as if a human couldn't do it. They're like, look, a guy on a bike. Oh, thankfully for the driverless vehicle, it waited patiently and it went around him without accident. Oh, because a human couldn't do that on his own with the steering wheel, right? We need the driverless car to do it because we're so dumbed down and so weak as a society. Again, they make people more fearful of driving like they've never done before. People are afraid They say Gen Z is afraid to get behind the wheel, and Gen Z is really the reason most people are afraid to get behind the wheel because they're busy driving and texting most of the time. They're not even looking at the road, so this fits perfectly for them. While the rest of our society is defensively driving, paying attention for the most part. Not everybody, but there's mixed in millennials in there that like to text and drive. But, that's really the detriment on the road these days. They tell you it's drunk drivers, et cetera, but it's really texters and drivers. But our government promotes that because they know and they want these people to be texting and driving so that they have an excuse to come in and say, look, you're texting and driving. You just can't seem to stop, right? You're addicted. You got work. Well, we'll come in with the solution. Now you can text and drive, okay? Now you can drink and drive. But here's the answer to how we could get this all fit in for our society. We'll have the cars drive themselves. Can they explode? Yes. Can they drive a conspiracy tinfoil hat wearer off a cliff? Of course they can. More reason to sign up, right? Yeah. So Gates says it was a memorable ride. And I love how he's pretending it's like the first time he's in an electric vehicle. He's like one of the creators of the electric. He's like, oh my goodness. Oh, you've won me over with this. Oh yeah, Bill? Well, you're behind every single sick agenda in today's society. Of course, you wrap it around and say, this is a great benefit for society because people don't need to be able to do anything on their own anymore. If they give it all to their technology, then they serve no purpose anymore and we can control their thoughts, et cetera, by getting the technology into their bodies while telling them we're catering to them, right? Because that's how psychopathic he is. So Gates' trip included a safety driver, as you saw, who took control of the car multiple times. Well, you saw a little bit of it. I mean, they kind of edited that out, but the car's technology was built by British startup Wave, which partners with Microsoft on its artificial intelligence-based autonomous driving software. The 6-year-old startup has raised more than $250 million from investors. Again, as if Bill hasn't been in one of these. And Bill would never get in one of these on his own, of course. Bill has his Manchurian candidates driving him around in his limousines and his private jets. But Bill wouldn't get in one of these things either. I mean, he's just doing it for the show, but he's been in it tons of times. At least he's tested it out. I'm sure he's crashed a bunch of them into burning buildings before with people inside. But anyway, as the technology moves forward, the cars could be good for both your wallet and the planet. Of course, it's all about the planet. It's good for the planet. It has nothing to do with the planet. I mean, it's absolutely zero. That's what these environmental enthusiasts are. They're so clueless. They're just again, I'm going to say pawns in the game, but they're literally a card in the Illuminati card game because these people are just clueless. I mean, they're absolutely clueless about this stuff, what's good and what's not good for the environment. They talk about throwing a soda can out the window of your car into a bush, and they're like, that's littering, that's going to kill the environment. Yet they're spraying us with aluminum sulfate, I mean, all sorts of sulfur. I mean, no big deal. No big deal. That's not bad. One soda can getting thrown out your window, landing in a grass pile is way more dangerous than the entire country being covered and crop dusted in aluminum and barium, etc. Right? Nah. They know what's good for the environment. Cuckoo. Anyway, they say that doesn't. They say currently they have the most advanced autonomous vehicles, and most of the advanced autonomous vehicles still require a driver who can only take their hands off the steering wheel in certain situations on the road, and need to always be ready to resume control. Because as you see from these clips, a lot of these cars that drive themselves end up getting in accidents, right? So I'd say unless there was a 100% success rate, would you rather be in charge of your own vehicle, in control of your own vehicle, or some random computer that you know nothing about? But as people become more trustworthy on technology and dependent on technology, of course, they'll automatically trust in the technology, just like liberals automatically trust in the government without ever questioning them and thinking they have bad intentions. So, you know what I mean? So they say it doesn't necessarily mean this year or next year Elon Musk's self-driving push at Tesla, which, by the way, we've seen the recalls on all these Teslas that are just not just exploding or having the same types of issues with driving into, medians on highways. No big deal. That could be you with your 2-year-old, your 6-month-old. That could be you leaving the hospital with your newborn, and the driverless vehicle just smashes into a median. No worry, nobody's liable. So there's nothing to worry about. You can't sue anybody over it. It's your own responsibility. You decided, right? Oh, wait, we didn't decide. You forced it upon us, but then we can't sue you, right? Or anything like that because, you own the courts. So, in other words, we're all screwed. U.S. consumers will likely only gain access to fully self-driving vehicles following a complete overhaul of the nation's driving infrastructure and laws. according to Bill. Well, of course, we already see them overhauling all this stuff. There are states that are allowing this. There's states that are allowing trucks, like California, allowing trucks on freeways with no drivers behind. That must really calm people when they're on the road and they look over and see a giant truck and they see nobody behind the wheel. That must feel great. Like watching the movie Ghost Dad or something, or Ghost, right? It's probably just Patrick Swayze, right? No big deal. It's just a car with nobody driving. Nothing insane about this in 2023 with an insane culture and a bunch of insane empowered people, really. So Bill goes on to say that in January consulting, McKinsey predicted, this is not from Bill, this is from McKinsey. They predict by 2035, roughly 37% of new passenger cars sold will feature advanced autonomous driving tech. So sooner or later, they won't even need to use it because you'll be hooked up to the Bluetooth instead of your car. Oh, wait, some people already are, if you catch my drift. So Bill's got his hands in this. And again, anything Bill has his hands in absolutely blows and sucks, like Bill. So it's no surprise that no one's suspicious when you look around at our society of dumbed down zombies that don't seem to see the common theme here with these horrible agendas. They actually think these things are all great because they idolize Bill for whatever reason. I mean, you couldn't find a bigger dweeb, but they idolize him. They idolize all these people. They love him. Love Biden. Love a guy that gropes on a little kid. I mean, it's pretty incredible. Pretty incredible what we're living amongst. As long as they don't have to deal with confrontation or criticism or anyone hurting their feelings, then they're on board. So even if that means the government's going to drive them off a cliff in their autonomous vehicle, they don't seem to care. Because I think these people actually think they're invincible. But we'll see about that come Judgment Day, even these transhumanoids. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Hope you're all doing well. God bless you and your families.